Honorable Minister Darbu, distinguished platform personnel, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure for me to be here this afternoon on behalf of DuPont to discuss this important topic, building resilience for food and nutrition security. Speakers before me have highlighted the meaning of resilience, and we could consider that resilience societies are those that can anticipate or withstand shocks and are also able to quickly return to and even surpass their pre-shock state. In my short presentation today, I want to leave you with three main messages. First, the time for us to improve resilience for food and nutrition security is now. We cannot afford to wait. Secondly, what gets measured gets done. And as we think through resilience, we need to focus on those critical components that can be measured and monitored to ensure we avoid or respond effectively to the debilitating consequences of shocks to food and nutrition security. And third, the solutions for ensuring resilience to food and nutrition security must be science-based, collaborative, and targeted to the most vulnerable groups in our society: women, youth, and children. So why the urgency? It took the world almost 2,000 years to reach a population of 1 billion people. Yet we are projected to grow by 1 billion people in just the next 12 years. Building more efficient agriculture systems to meet global food demand and increase resilience to unexpected shocks requires making the right investments and policy decisions now. Particularly in the food deficient regions, meeting global food demand will require increasing net agricultural productivity, the amount of food produced after taking into account food loss and food waste. The private sector has a critical role to play in accelerating our ability to reduce vulnerability and ensure resilience. The FAO estimates that net investment required to meet the world's food needs in 2050 will be $83 billion per year, much of which will need to come from the private sector. Today, as never before, the private sector is embracing its role in development and is being given a seat at the development table along with other collaborators. At DuPont, we believe that no one sector can move the needle alone. We are collaborating with other partners in the private and public sectors to make a difference. Even so, we are holding ourselves accountable for achieving food security. And this brings me to my second point: what gets measured gets done. In 2012, DuPont created corporate goals to enhance global food security that would be realized by the end of 2020. Goal 1, we determined that we would commit $10 billion to research and development and the introduction of over 4,000 new products by the end of 2020 to innovate to feed the world. The work would center on sustainably producing more food, enhancing the nutrition of food, boosting food availability and shelf life, and reducing waste. Since 2012, we have already spent over $2 billion in research and development to produce over 1,000 new products. Our second goal is to engage and educate youth, and we aim that by 2020, DuPont will facilitate 2 million engagements with young people around the world to help them see the future for themselves in agriculture. We already know that the future for this agriculture rests with youth, yet so many youth are loath to consider agriculture as an attractive livelihood. Since 2012, we've worked with over 360,000 youth globally who are now excited about the future of agriculture. Goal 3, improving rural communities. We pledge to work to improve the livelihoods of at least 3 million farmers and their rural communities through targeted collaborations and investments that strengthen agriculture systems and make food more available, nutritious, and culturally appropriate. Since 2012, we've worked with over 160,000 smallholder farmers to increase their productivity and improve their ability to withstand shocks. And in addition to our food security goals, DuPont has also commissioned the Economist Intelligence Unit to produce the Global Food Security Index, which provides a measurable framework and common language for us to evaluate how countries are performing with respect to food availability, affordability, and food safety. But how will we make the resilience difference? And this brings me to my third point, through science-based solutions. At DuPont, we believe that science is global, but solutions are local. More emphasis is being placed on science-based solutions such as drought-tolerant maize to help mitigate the shocks of biological and environmental stresses. It is true that the overall numbers of persons who are chronically malnourished is on the decline. Still, poor nutrition is the cause of nearly half of all deaths in children under age 5 every year. Moreover, globally, roughly 1 in 4 children under the age of 5 is stunted due to micronutrient deficiencies, which are linked to permanent physical and mental impairments. Among the many other innovations and technologies that DuPont brings to the market, we are working and using biofortification to improve micronutrient content of sorghum, which now has little nutrient value, but is the staple diet of millions across Africa. Through enhancing the nutritional content of crops, biofortification can help alleviate micronutrient deficiencies that lead to blindness, anemia, and impaired mental and physical growth. Today, much of the food that is consumed in the developing world is produced by small farmers. This is why DuPont is committed to working with smallholder farmers globally to improve their productivity and ensure that they can alleviate and improve their lives, not only their lives, but that of their families and communities. We've worked in Latin America through the introduction of an enzyme that treats their milk, and that enzyme, when added to the milk, modifies the milk protein to form a curd that then makes cheese. These once remote smallholder farmers, they are now able to add value to their milk and provide another source of protein which has a longer shelf life than raw milk to their communities. In Ethiopia, here, we are partnering with the Ministry of Agriculture, the Agriculture Transformation Agency, and USAID, among others, to improve the livelihoods of over 100,000 maize farmers using over 35,000 demonstration plots, agronomic advice, storage, and links to markets. One of the women smallholder farmers impacted by this program mentioned, her name is Ayete Kewota, and she mentioned that prior to planting our hybrid seed, she was able to get 1.2 tons per half hectare. Now, that was not enough to feed her family, but now she's getting 4.8 tons per half hectare, and the stalks do not fall over or break, according to her. Now she can buy fertilizer and save to buy cattle. She can also look forward to putting a roof over her house and sending her children to school. It is exciting to see and hear Ayete's story and know that that is replicated across Ethiopia and the globe. And science-based solutions need to be sustainable, securing the planet for future generations. DuPont is therefore pleased today to announce our collaboration with the Evergreen Agriculture Partnership hosted by the World Agroforestry Center. This collaboration with the World Agroforestry Center will promote the use of fertilizer trees into maize production systems as a low-cost opportunity to improve and sustain yields while enhancing soil fertility and resilience to drought and heat stresses. Through our collaboration, we will develop a system for the distribution of tree seed and extension advice to farmers. As part of this initiative, DuPont has already pledged in 2012 $300,000 and will continue to pledge to this effort going forward. I would like to acknowledge Dr. Dennis Garrity, who I believe is in the audience with us today, and the team at the World Agroforestry Center who are spearheading this effort. Thank you for your leadership and dedication. So in closing, the Global Harvest Initiative in its 2013 GAP report explains that from an efficiency perspective, global agriculture productivity is currently on track to ensure the world can meet the greater global food demand by 2050. But we need to accelerate progress by working together to devise solutions for building resilience where it is needed most. 1 in 8 people remain undernourished, indicating that much is left to be done. We must scale up successful efforts, publish success stories, and replicate our efforts till no one is left behind and food and nutritional security is achieved, especially for the vulnerable, our women, children, and youth. From setting measurable goals to getting all available science-based tools to farmers, to building sustainable agriculture systems, and to empowering women farmers and youth with resources such as land and technical training, let's join hands to achieve a resilient food and nutrition secure world. I thank you.